Hello again and welcome back to the second part of this Time Crisis Razing Storm overview. In the previous part we have covered Time Crisis 4 and the first half of the game modes available in Razing Storm. Moving on from there, let's check the online mode offered by Razing Storm. As I create a room to check this out, you can see there are 4 maps available, a traditional assortment of game modes from Deathmatch to King of the Hill, and room for up to 8 players. Let's play some Capture the Flag. The controls are exactly the same I have described while checking out the story mode. That's my flag, by the way. In the previous video I forgot to mention there is no jump action in the story mode, and of course there is no jump in the online mode either. As you can see, the same cover system is in place as well, allowing you to get into cover by raising the controller. Again, you have no freedom over picking direction, as it's imposed by the cover you are using. While this system was sort of useless in the story mode, here it turns out to be actually lethal, as you have to deal with much smarter enemies that do actually flank you. Also, not every possible cover allows for such a cover system to be used, meaning you end up not bothering with it at all. Interestingly, the game adopts the same kill cam system seen in Call of Duty multiplayer. Another interesting thing to point out is that in this Capture the Flag mode you don't get points only by delivering the flag, but also by simply carrying it, kinda like the school in Halo 2 and beyond. The auto look feature does also apply here, and it helps to deal with the less than optimal camera control system I have already exposed in the other video. Sadly, I could only test this mode against just one unsuspecting opponent, so there is little worthy I can say, rather than it plays okay. It's a good effort though by such an unexperienced developer as Namco. The last mode built around Razing Storm is called Sentry mode and has you acting as a stationary guard, having to stop rioting prisoners from escaping different areas of a penitentiary. It's a nice twist over the usual target practice approach, and quite an addictive one to spend your nights with. There are 6 prisoners to stop per stage, along with some militia soldiers that are worth extra points.
Stop the high-security prisoner from escaping!
Headshots give you bonus points, of course, and you have to be cautious with your shooting, as hitting a guard ends the mission immediately. A multiplayer mode is available as well, but not in a simultaneous fashion, as players take turns. Anyway, this is a very entertaining mode that stresses memory, reflexes and precision. Almost worth a standalone release on the PlayStation Store, I might say.
high security prisoner is headed in your direction. One, two, three, four. Not bad.
So we finally get to the last game in the collection, Dead Storm Pirates, which is the least Time Crisis feeling of the bunch, so to speak. Not just because you are not fighting terrorists, but mostly because it plays nothing like a Time Crisis game, as it is closer to Sega's productions in the field. You have no option for cover and there is no need for reload in this trigger-happy roller coaster through piratical imagination.
Keep shooting!
You just have to shoot as fast as you can to avoid being hit by enemies coming at you. There is a lot of variety in situations, the move dealing with all of them with nonchalance from a technical standpoint. Speed is particularly important here, and the move does its job perfectly.
Watch out for the big one! Hold them back!
There are also some cool moments where you have to rotate the move or the analog stick if you are using a traditional controller to avoid obstacles.
To the left! Great! They're still coming! Perfect! Good! Perfect! Perfect!
This system also applies to boss fights. At times you are also given total control over the wheel.
Duck! Got it! Focus! Dodge the banks! Well done! Keep at it!
Finally, treasure hunt moments are in here as well, as a reminder this is a Namco game, not a Sega one.
It's all mine!
The best part of Dead Storm Pirates though is its multiplayer mode. Two people can shoot simultaneously at the screen, but besides the obvious implications, there is also a mechanic that promotes cooperation and even forces it in some situations. As you can see, pointing the same targets increases the power of the shots. But there are also enemies that can only be damaged if both players shoot together at them. Even the wheel turning mechanic supports cooperation, as both players have to turn their controllers in the same direction, of course, and as fast as they can.
Incredible power! Almost nailed! He's coming again!
Since the controls are as simple as pushing a button to shoot, you can even play this solo, wielding two moves if you so like to challenge your coordination. Which is what I'm doing this video, by the way. As for alternative weaponry, hitting a special crystal popping up from time to time gives you a special shot, and there are moments where you have to use highly powerful but slowly reloading cannons.
Shoot them down before they fly over here!
So now that we have covered almost everything about this meaty shooter collection, I need to show you an issue I've noticed with the pointing, which is something other people with the game are reporting as well. Pay attention to the cursor in this sequence taken from Razing Storm. As I hold the move button to bring up the shield, the cursor begins to drift to the left, despite me pointing at the middle of the screen. As I release the move button, the cursor travels back to the middle of the screen. The same problem occurs in Time Crisis 4 as well. Now, you probably won't notice this particularly odd behavior much, but if you feel like the pointer is drifting away slightly as you play these games, and especially if Dead Storm Pirates doesn't seem to suffer from this, then you have a magnetometer calibration issue. it seems like both Time Crisis 4 and Razing Storm use the magnetometer built into the device, not properly apparently, while Dead Storm Pirates doesn't. In fact, I can replicate this problem in it. To fix it, you have two options. First, try resetting the move by pushing the button located in the pinhole shown here. That should solve the problem right away. If it doesn't, go to the cross-media bar and use the move to navigate to the accessory settings under the main settings category. Press X and select Calibrate Motion Controller. Then don't press X to calibrate, but rather press triangle to disable the magnetometer altogether. Select Yes here and you shouldn't experience any more drifting. Before you ask, Sony is aware of this and working on a fix. Thanks for watching, ciao!